Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the SurgeCast, presented by Primo X Hockey, Level Up Sacks, and In the Clutch Apparel, empowered by Belly Up Sports. This is Season 2, Episode 10. I am your host, Zach Martin.
I'm Bailey Curtis.
And we are excited to bring you another fantastic episode of the show. And unfortunately, not a lot of news to go around because it's that time of year for hockey. But I mean, before we get into all that stuff, Bailey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. We are officially in the month where hockey comes back. I could not be more excited. I have honestly been like chomping at the bit to finally it comes to the point where the other day I turned on a rerun of what was it, the last Canes Coyotes game that we played just to kind of get my fix, because that was one of the first ones that came up when I searched it on up on ESPN Plus. So it was like, I need my hockey fix. I'm not getting it.
Yeah, so. No, I definitely get that. Yeah, because I think a few weeks back on YouTube I watched like the New Year's Day game classic against the Jackets. I actually watched the game. It was the before New Year's Eve. It was the game. It was the game against the Canadians where I was actually at that game.
Okay.
And that was like around the start of the actual like socials for the podcast. No episodes, no logo, no nothing. It was just kind of tweeting at the game and stuff like that, kind of trying to get it going. So yeah, I was watching that game as well. So yeah, I definitely get that. It's that time of year where I'm like, just give me hockey.
It's so close yet so far. But how are you?
Well, if you're watching the YouTube version, you can clearly see I'm not in my house because I don't have these nice of paintings, and it's it's one of those things. I'm actually at a hotel right now because if anyone's followed me on my personal socials, our washer and dryer washer hose snapped and kind of massively
the entire new house feel. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun waking up at 7 a.m. and all you're hearing from your wife as you're like, still kind of sleeping in, wake up, and I'm like, what? House is flooding. What? Just jumping out of bed.
Yeah.
It's 7 a.m, ripping my the mask off. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, so that was fun, just seeing like the entire carpet and almost all the rooms get damaged. Luckily, not all of it was bad, but all of it was pretty toast, or wet for that matter. But yeah, it was definitely something because the AC goes out the Friday before, last Friday, the water damage. So luckily we have insurance and we're at a hotel. Luckily it's on the insurance's dime. So at least we're getting taken care of. But yeah, it's going to be something. Yeah. Yeah, I think this Friday is going to be a week since we've been here. Probably looking at least another week. Could be looking at another 2. So I don't know. So yeah, we're living in the hotel life, but luckily it's a nice one of those extended stays at the Marriott. So we're doing all right for the most part. But it's something. So living out of a suitcase, bringing the podcast equipment, bringing the hockey jerseys because priorities.
Right.
Don't get me wrong without the jerseys. So I mean, but no, we're doing good. It's just definitely need to use some McKenna dips.
Good.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll definitely talk about
that's
them.
Been a saving grace.
Yeah, thankfully it's definitely helped out a lot. So we'll talk a little bit more about them during our sponsor segment. But yeah, Canada Dips has been very helpful. That's for sure. So, yeah. But a lot of good stuff though. Other than that, excited to talk hockey because when is it never a good time to talk hockey?
Right, exactly.
I mean, hockey 24/7. I'm all in. Like, just give me hockey all day.
Yeah,
injecting. I would love to get paid just to watch hockey and just
talk
about it. I wish. That's the NHL Network. Just give us a call,
please. Please.
Just
I'm really good at live tweeting if the 06 rerun is anything to go by. So yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, it was pretty solid, though. I'm not going to lie, especially when it was on the podcast. Very nice. So today we are going to do our Metro rankings because, unfortunately, our Belly Up hockey group did a live show on Monday. I was going to do it. Didn't make it back in time for the start, and I just was one of those I kind of pulled the plug on myself. It is what it is, dealing with house stuff. But everyone else did theirs. If you haven't seen it yet, go back to the Belly Up Sports YouTube. Go check out Belly Up Hockey Twitter. They'll be on there if you want to go watch them on demand.
It was
Great
a lot
stuff.
of fun. We went through all of our rankings and just kind of talked about each division in general. So it really caters to everybody. Obviously, we had a little more representation from the Central and the Metro than anything, but
Blackhawks, Avalanche, and then it was Devils and Hurricanes.
And Canes. Yep.
Yeah, so a little bit of a leading heavy. Yeah, but still, have everyone do their rankings. Like, I don't even know Bailey's rankings because like I said, I missed the show. So I'm still going to this blind line.
I'm pretty sure my first is pretty obvious, but not everybody.
If you say the Pittsburgh Penguins, I swear I'm turning this podcast off.
Yep. That's who I've got winning the Stanley Cup, guys. There we go.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, thanks for everyone for tuning into the podcast.
I have to
Bailey, I need your resignation letter.
I need to go wash my mouth out now. I can't believe I just said that.
Ew.
Threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Why did you even joke about that?
Yikes. Beats me.
How dare you? So we're gonna do the Metro. We're gonna do the Metro rankings, of course, because the fact that I didn't get a chance to do it, so it'd be kind of fun to do that as well. Just give us a little something to do on the podcast, and then we're going to talk about we talked about the Jacob Slavin, on the defenseman list last week. Goalie list came out, have some thoughts. So Bailey's gonna go through those rankings, and we're gonna talk about where Mr. Freddie Anderson landed. Of course, disrespect. We'll get to that later on. And then we got our Forgotten Canes, which it seems like a lot of people like it, which I'm kind of enjoying. The fact
I enjoy it a lot. So
yeah, I like it too. I'm just glad that people like it. I'm like, what? Let's do something different in the show.
It's like our own little podcast special thing. So
yeah, exactly. And I'm kind of just glad that people are enjoying it again. Remember, oh yeah, I remember this Kane and stuff like that. Like seeing old photos of guys like David Tanabe and Jeff O'Neill, stuff like that. So it's kind of cool just to be able to see former Hurricanes. And like you said on previous episodes, it's interesting when it's like your guys versus my guys that I pick too. So it's kind of like interesting because you can see
to everybody.
Difference. Yeah, you can kind of see the difference of like who gets picked and stuff like that. But though, before we jump into all that, I do have a new 5-star rating to talk about on the podcast. We did kind of miss it last week, but because it's been a little crazy.
Yeah.
With the move and all that stuff and everything else that's been going on. But luckily we caught it in time. So now we're up to 4 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts. So thank you to all those who've done that. If you want to leave us 5-star reviews, so, bump us up the charts, in terms of the hockey, get us in the top 100. I'd be very grateful if you did. Just make sure to go over to Apple iTunes, drop us a 5-star rating. If you leave us a review, we'll talk about it on the podcast. And like I said, that'll help us, again, the algorithms, bump up our rankings a little bit, because we want to be one of the most popular Hurricanes podcasts out there. Because why not, right? Why not? So make sure you go do that real quick for us, and also do it on Spotify because Spotify does it as well. So why not help us out? Yeah. So the review from NotJS20, 5 stars, of course, because
of course,
that's what we're here for. The title is called Surge On. Fantastic. Fantastic. I liked it.
I like it.
Yeah. Bailey and Zach bring so much to the hockey market that only covering the Canes is a crime. These two are so knowledgeable with the Canes that it makes you want to be a Canes fan. Keep going, bunch of jerks.
Appreciate you, friend. Oh, that's wonderful.
I resent the remark. I am not a bunch of jerks. actually, we kind of are.
That's kind of the Canes brand. So
yeah, we do talk. I know this podcast talks trash, and the Hurricanes team does. Bring up Escarone and Lambos and Priuses. You'll know what's up. But I know. Thank you for the review.
No, we're super grateful. I feel like this podcast wouldn't be a thing if we didn't at least have a little bit of knowledge of the game and of our team. So
just a little. Yeah, just a little bit. I did at one point do a whole League One podcast. It was fun. It was something that was kind of interesting to do.
Yeah. I feel like my brain capacity can barely handle everything that goes on with my team and in the Metro, much less the entire league. So
yeah, this guy, and this guy from this team and that team got these points. What these minutes look like? Yeah, it's
it's a lot.
I commend a lot of people who can do that. For sure. It's lot more investing in the hockey and stuff like that. But then I think it's kind of harder to not because you can't break every team down. You're kind of like having to do the main storylines. I think there's still things you're going to miss.
Yeah,
because there's so much going on. Unless it's like you see some highlight reel plays or guys getting like 5 points in a night.
Yeah,
it's definitely one of those things where it's kind of like I would love to be more invested in the entire league, but it's like it's just with my job and everything else that's going on. With this podcast, another podcast that we do. Belly Up Hockey, trying to run that with all the podcasters and the writers on my side that I have to do.
Yeah.
And then of course, like you and me both have hobbies too outside of, hockey and podcasting. I mean,
you mean there's other hobbies to have besides hockey?
I know.
First I'm hearing this.
I know, right? It's like, wait, what are hobbies? I just talk about
eat, sleep, and breathe hockey. Come on.
I mean, I do too, but I mean, there's some days I do want to switch off and just
right.
D&D
you need a little bit of a breather.
Books. Yeah,
especially like I know you took that like week-long break after the Canes were booted out of the playoffs because you were like, I need a hockey break.
Yeah, because I think by that point, I think from like February until about when the Hurricanes got eliminated, it was just nonstop episodes every single week, either by myself or with a guest. And then playoffs. I think I was.
And then hosting the Twitter Spaces too. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, doing the Twitter Spaces for every playoff game. I think we missed the first one. We did every other one after that, except for Game 7 against the Bruins because I was actually at work during that game. Which I
want to say I hosted that one too. So that was yeah.
And this is pre Bailey on the podcast as a host time too.
Yes,
we just started doing it just randomly, which was kind of fun.
I mean, honestly, and it was really fun though too.
Yeah.
Like it's hard, especially as someone, you probably know this too, just being not in the same state as the team.
Yeah,
it's hard kind of creating more of a community aspect when you're not able to watch the team and meet people in person. So to be able to kind of create that bond over Twitter, doing that space and things like that, it's honestly, it's so much fun.
It really is. And I think that's kind of what helped out with this podcast too. And being like, okay, so we know these guys they host the shows, they're doing, and we're going to do more of these too. We're definitely going to do them periodically throughout the season. It's not going to be like every game because, we want to listen to, Mike and Tripp and all that and Shane. And then, but definitely playoff time. We're definitely going to do it in the playoffs because
definitely.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of like national broadcast is very iffy. Oh, we do need to talk about that today because that actually
the nationals.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like I definitely needed that break because at one point I was doing like 3 episodes a week during the playoffs, and it was just like, and the way the Hurricanes kind of bowed out, I'm like, I think I missed the conference finals, and I think I watched one cup final game that. I think I took about 2 weeks off from hockey, just like I, still do the podcast, but it's kind of like I can't watch right now. It's definitely like, yeah,
it's a lot.
It is. It's definitely one of those things where it's like I love watching hockey. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of like at the same time, it's like you do need to give yourself a mental break as well, especially when it's like something like that. Plus, when your team's not in the playoffs anymore, it's kind of like. I would like to watch, but it's kind of like I don't know. It's one of those things, but
I guess that's a nice thing about having the team that I do as my second team. I didn't really get a break like you did.
Yeah. My second team. Oof, that's
Yeah, I had to keep the broom at the ready.
Yeah. Your second team did do a lot of that.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But no, honestly though, I'm so ready for hockey to be back. It's been so long. It's nice when hockey season is back because you kind of get into a flow of things. We got content to talk about outside of the games.
Yeah,
I know our podcast recording times are going to be very all over the place, especially games on certain nights. We're definitely going to do a lot of maneuvering in terms of all right, where are we going to do it at and stuff like that.
Yeah. Can't keep with the schedule like we do on off season, which is going to be rough. But
yeah, I mean, even during the regular season, I was kind of doing it on Fridays and still dropping them on Sundays. But then even then, there's still games in between, so it's kind of like we're still going to record and then just drop it the next day. So that way, it's still kind of somewhat relevant. So that way, in case there is a game, you're not listening to the podcast and it's like, oh well, this game already happened,
right?
So we're going to try to keep it somewhat time relevant for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a lot of, but like I said, a lot of season 1 was a lot of like figuring stuff out, going through the process. This time,
we get to do it for a full season this season too.
I know it's like we're already up to episode 10. We're not even in the regular season yet, and then we're not into the playoffs. I think we're going to be like 50 something episodes by the time we're done, if that. So I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. But I'm excited though for the fact that I get to be an opening night for the Canes. That's going to be fun, and then hopefully, if we're really lucky, if all of the timing goes right for the Stadium Series, all going to hang out at the Stadium Series and maybe even somehow try to record a podcast episode in person, which would be very fun. If it's possible, but either way, it should be fun. But after all that, are you ready to actually talk about some Hurricanes hockey?
There's been a decent, or at least one drop I know of that I'm very, very excited to talk about, even though.
Really? Wait, what would that be, Bailey?
So.
What would that be?
You all know NHL Network dropped their top 20 defenseman list the other week. We talked about that on last week's episode, and Jacob Slavin's very undermined rating.
That we actually talked the last week's episode. Slavin is still underrated, which at some point, when is he not going to be underrated?
Yeah, I know. And honestly, at this point too, like so kind of getting into that a little bit, NHL Network dropped their most recent list of top 10 goalies. One of our fantastic keepers, Frederick Anderson, did make the list, but I've noticed a bit of a trend with the Hurricanes being duped.
I mean, let's be honest. When are the Hurricanes ever really respected nationally with anything in the league?
Never.
I mean,
never.
It's almost like a running joke at this point with Canes fans. It's like, all right, cool. Of course.
Like, we're not surprised at this point.
Like me and my dad talk about it, and we both just joke about it. It's just like he says, like, Hurricanes get no respect. Nothing new is what it is. I don't like the same way. It's just like, come on. At some point.
The thing I find funny, though, is you talk to any other team or any other fan of any other team about how disrespected they are. No, I think that's a fair rating. Really?
Yeah. Okay.
Really? Okay.
Right.
And I mean, maybe that's just coming from like, we're not super broadcast. We're not we don't have as many highlight reels as other teams might have when it comes to the goals that we're getting or the saves that are being made or whatever. But at the same time, like, I mean, the game of hockey, you're meant to sit down and actually watch and see what's going on. If you actually do that with the Canes, you'd know that there's a lot more going on than is actually being broadcast around the league.
Oh, so what you're saying is like we don't. It's like, oh well, we don't have quote unquote superstars on this team. Which
you're a superstar team.
I mean, Sebastian Aho, Svechnikov. I mean, Jacob Slavin is a really good defenseman. I would also say a superstar defenseman, but people don't want to talk about that quite yet.
Never.
I mean, Seth Jarvis looks like he's going to be an absolute stud. Excited to see where his career goes.
So excited.
I mean. It's at some point it's like we gotta stop with this narrative. Oh, the Canes don't have superstars. Really?
Why were we Metro champs last season? Why were we Central champs the season before that?
Yeah, back-to-back division champs, first time ever. Looking at a possible three-peat.
Very interested to hear that answer.
Yeah, it's just like I don't and people's like, oh well, hockey can't survive in the South. Can we stop with this narrative that the South isn't good for hockey when unfortunately there's a team in Florida that's won back-to-back cups at one point?
Yeah, I feel like that narrative should have been done as soon as that happened.
Nashville is pretty. I hate to say it, but Nashville has been a solid hockey team for the last few years. Panthers have finally figured it out. We'll see if they're a one-season wonder. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Technically, the Capitals are still considered the South, even though they're not really, but some people still think they are. Won a cup. They've been pretty solid the last few years. Yep. I mean, I'm really tired of the South isn't good at hockey. There's no fan base there. When if you look at Nashville and Carolina alone, there is.
Yeah.
So I really don't understand why there's still this narrative of like, oh, no one really cares about hockey in Carolina, or who cares about the Hurricanes?
I mean, we're basically, when it comes to pro sports, we're basically hockey town in the South if you take Tampa Bay out of the equation. Like, I don't know. I feel like the biggest sport right now in North Carolina, just because of how consistently good we've been lately, has been the Hurricanes in hockey. So I at least I've noticed ever since we started making playoff runs again and we ended our playoff drought, I've noticed the community of hockey fans in North Carolina alone grow and grow and grow. So.
Yeah, it really is. Like, the tailgates are absolutely insane. No one's ready for the tailgates. It's going to happen at the Stadium Series at Carter Finley.
Oh, it's going to be
in
so
February.
Great.
It's going to be insanity from start to finish.
Yep.
People are going to be tanked by like 10 a.m. and the game probably isn't going to start until the afternoon.
Yep.
Because those gates are going to open super early. So it's definitely one of those things where it's like at some point we got to drop this narrative of Southern hockey doesn't do anything when it clearly has. I mean, were the Hurricanes fans turning up during the dark ages? No, can't blame them because the team was absolutely terrible, and every team has gone through struggles of fans showing up. I mean, heck, the Penguins at one point were about ready to get relocated at least once or twice because no one cared about them until they started winning cups with Crosby. Yeah. So I really don't want to hear about, it's only the South. No, there's been a bunch of teams that have had issues with fans showing up. It's not just Carolina. So I would like for that to stop. And you really can't tell me that there's nothing to watch down here in Carolina with the guys that we got. I mean,
there's so much to see. Yeah. And that's kind of what I was getting into earlier too, is we're not a highlight reel, like a super consistent highlight reel team. We don't get those highlight reel goals or those highlight reel saves or those highlight reel stops like other teams do. But we are still a very nitty gritty, cohesive team. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. And I feel like that's a lot of where the narrative, like poverty franchise in Carolina, comes from. Like it's not true. And if you actually sat down and watched the team instead of just kind of going off of, I haven't seen much of them lately, they're just not that great. It's maybe actually sit down and watch the team, and you'd kind of see what all of us fans of the team are actually talking about.
Oh, so basically tell me you've not watched Hurricanes hockey without telling me you haven't watched Hurricanes hockey.
Basically. I was wondering if that was going to come up.
It was. I mean, it's like you said, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, sorry, we don't have a guy like Austin Matthews who's going to score 60 goals a season, or McDavid with the ridiculous speed, or Trevor Zegras is doing impossible passes. Let's remember, Andrei Svechnikov did the first NHL Michigan. So, I mean, the highlights are there. I mean, let's not all forget about, Sebastian Aho doing some absolute power moves, or Seth Jarvis just absolutely dangling everyone's, jock straps off, or the fact that,
Martin Necas actually skating through an entire team.
Or, Andrei Svechnikov pirouetting off a hit, or, doing reverse hits, or Freddie Anderson making or how about Jacob Slavin playing goalie against the Flames?
This is true.
But no. We don't got superstars in Carolina. What are we talking about? What are we doing?
Guess we should just end the podcast right here.
Yeah, everyone, thank you for listening to this podcast. I mean, come on. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of this narrative. You know what, though? Let them keep sleeping on us. It's fine. We'll just go and win another cup and just enjoy the parade because that's what we're going to do. So
you haters are not invited. But speaking of one of those superstars, kind of go down the list of the NHL Network's top goalie list. So like I said, this is 1 through 10. First, or bringing in at number 1, Andrei Vasilevsky. Are we surprised? Ranking in at number.
I mean, it is what it is.
You knew he was going to be at least top 2.
Yeah.
If not number 1. Number 2, Vezina winner, Igor Shesterkin. Number 3, UC Saros. We got Jacob Markstrom at 4. Ilya Sorokin at number 5. Thatcher Demko, 6. Connor Hellebuck, 7. Our own Freddie Anderson at 8. Jake Ottinger at 9. And Marc-Andre Fleury at 10. Zach, what are your thoughts?
Well, Ilya Sorokin being 5 is an absolute joke.
Yeah. Yep.
The Islanders did absolutely nothing. And you're going to sit there and tell me that he's the 5th best goalie in this league?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another thing. How is Darcy Kemper a defending Cup champion in net who played out of his mind in the entire playoffs, not in the top 10?
See, you take Ilya Sorokin off this list. Maybe don't replace it with Darcy Kemper at 5. But I don't know.
Darcy's at least top 10. Darcy's at least top 10.
So when I first saw this list, I saw a bunch of people saying that Darcy Kemper was snubbed for this list. And at first I was kind of like, I don't think so. Like Kat and I were kind of having this conversation of where he's maybe top 15, maybe 11th on my list. But I don't know. After kind of going back and going through stats, I'd at least 10. 10 at the worst.
10. Like, I'm sorry. There's no way you can tell me he's not top 10.
Yeah.
Sorokin at 5 is an absolute joke. I'm sorry.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, and
you can't tell me that he's better than Freddie Anderson. Freddie Anderson before he got hurt with a week left into the season.
Mm-hmm.
Up for Vezina almost the entire year, putting up stupid numbers 2.1s, 2 point something. Like he was easily sub 2.2. There was one point he was under 2 as it goes against, and then he said maybe 1 or 2 bad games. Every goalie does. He gets hurt, and they're like, "Oh, can Freddie Anderson take the Hurricanes to the promised land? Is he the answer for the Canes? Oh, he didn't show up for the playoffs. Well, he got hurt against the Avs." So it's like you can't take his injury and be like, "Oh well, Freddie Anderson's all right. He's an okay goalie."
We could have that he was snubbed for the Vezina conversation all day long too.
Because he was.
Yeah,
he was. But it's like, oh well, Freddie isn't really that good. Like he chokes in big moments. Can't really choke in a big moment when you don't get a moment because he missed the entire playoffs. So I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like, come on. It's like, well, Freddie wasn't good with the Maple Leafs. He's with the Hurricanes, and he did pretty freaking good with the Hurricanes. I mean, last time I checked.
Yeah.
I mean, I color me wrong, or tell me that I'm wrong or something. But it's like I thought Freddie did pretty well last year for the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Just one half of the Jennings Trophy winners. But,
right. Exactly, and that's.
But I could be wrong.
That's one of the big points I made on the NHL or the preview show that we had on Monday too is I don't know, like one of the big things was they don't have solid goaltending. Are you completely forgetting that they won the Jennings this past year? Like, I mean, they're no Igor Shesterkin, but the Jennings is still a very highly esteemed trophy. It's not something you can just forget about and brush under the rug.
They were 2 goals away. Like you take one of the 6, you want to take one of those 6-0 losses, easily under 200 goals.
Oh yeah,
another duo. I mean, there probably is a duo that did under 200 goals, but in the last few years, has any tandem led in less than 200 goals? Probably not. To say that, Carolina still has a goaltending issue, didn't seem like it was a problem to me. I mean. Unfortunately, injuries kind of cropped up at the wrong time. Freddie goes out with a week left in the season. Ronta gets hurt at least twice in the playoffs. You're down to your 3rd string goalie who's played in this continent maybe a month. Who did go 3-0 in his first 3 games. But yeah, sure, Carolina has a goaltending issue. No. Our goaltending is an issue when we just won the Jennings. We had a guy get snubbed for a Vezina. Finished 4th. 4th.
Yep.
Tell me we goaltending problem where our guy finished 4th in Vezina voting when he should have at least easily been top 3. But now because he got hurt with a week left, he doesn't get it.
Nope.
I know I'm coming really hot out of the gate with these. Like I'm just heated. I'm just so sick of the Canes getting snubbed. Like I don't rant a whole lot on this podcast, but I feel like it's one of those podcasts where I'm going to just be ranting so much and just coming in with the sass. So people aren't used to it.
No,
I'm
and
sorry, but it's one of those podcasts where I'm going to be sassy and just
the sass is deserved too. Like it blows my mind.
Oh yeah, people watching the podcast version is going to see my reactions and my animations and stuff. People listen to the audio version. It's just like Yeah, it's gonna be one. I'm telling you right, that's gonna be one of those episodes where it's just I'm gonna be sassy and ranty most of the time. So
Yep.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Like
if you're not used to it by now with all this disrespect that we get,
oh man,
buckle up, buddy.
Yeah, like we do have a lot of fun here, but once this type of nonsense starts to happen, it's
yeah, heated is an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go off and be like one of those guys, but
that makes one of us. Miss Goalie enthusiast over here, like, come at me, please.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when people say, "Oh, Cam Ward his number doesn't deserve to get retired." Sir and madam, sit down. Cam Ward needs to get retired. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, don't come at me with that BS.
Want to Conn Smythe?
Yeah,
but no,
don't come at me with that.
I mean, Saros 3, yeah, makes sense. I think
for me, I don't think Saros deserved to be that high up on the list. I get it.
He led the Preds to the playoffs. He did a really good job for them this year. With the most of his workload, I definitely say top 5, 3 maybe is a little bit high, but I definitely see where Saros could make a case for.
I just don't think he belongs top 3. I can get an argument. I can get an argument for top 5, but not third.
Yeah, Sorokin. How is your Vezina winning? How's the Vezina winner? A guy who was a finalist for the Hart, second. I know Vasilevsky, made it to the Cup final once again, but man, that Cup final was not friendly to him. So I mean, it's
no, not at all.
I mean, of course, some people will be like, "Well, Igor Shesterkin didn't do so great against the Penguins." Like, well, the Rangers didn't do so great against the Penguins in general, but it is what it is. But I mean, he woke up and had no problem with us in the second round. I mean, a lot of Rangers fans said if it wasn't for Shesterkin, Rangers ain't making the playoffs.
Yeah,
he carried them.
Again, I mentioned this in the Monday show. Even like when you had Kyle Hall here on the podcast, he was like, "Yeah, Shesterkin's literally carrying our team on his back." Like there's no question if ands or buts about it. Like you can make every argument in the world about the talent on the team playing in front of him. Yeah. And I get it. Totally get it. But Shesterkin carried that team on his back.
Yeah. I mean, Thatcher Demko makes sense. I mean, he was solid for Vancouver. Just the team in front of him kind of was just up and down. Not mad about that. Markstrom, I feel a little high, but I mean, the Flames did pretty well this year. Playoff wise, that was tough for the Oilers series. I think Freddie's a lot higher than 8. I'm sorry, and trying to keep all bias aside on this, you can't tell me that Freddie Anderson is not a top 5 goalie in this league. I'm sorry, you can't tell me that he's not.
Yeah,
you look at his numbers this past season. Like he's good. Everyone knows he's a good goalie. In Toronto, he was a good goalie there too. He was good in Anaheim. Like, well, he stinks in the playoffs. He chokes in the playoffs. It's the team in front of him in Toronto that screwed him a lot of games. Go ask any legit sane. Well, I don't know how sane they are. Well, go talk to a Maple Leafs fan who actually watches all the games, knows hockey, and knows what Freddie Anderson did for Toronto. Those defenses that he was there with, not so great. Still carried them. He gets a good competent defense from Carolina. Still plays out of his mind. So I don't really want to hear that Freddie Anderson is not a good goalie. I really don't. And I think 8 is still too low. Like, come on. You can't tell me that there's that guys like Sorokin is better. The Islanders were nowhere even near a playoff spot. You can't tell me that he's 5th best in this league.
No.
Freddie won like we've been saying, he won the Jennings.
Yeah.
His goals against average was under a 2.3. Like, don't give me this nonsense of, oh, he's top 10. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
His spot is a problem. It's a disrespect. 8 is not where he should be. Easily top. I would say 5th at worst. 5th at worst.
Yeah.
You can almost make 4th.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I will make this argument every day of the week. April 6th doesn't happen and he doesn't get injured. Playoffs look completely different for us.
Oh, massively different. Well, hopefully the penalty killing units, doesn't get overworked. Not too many penalties happen.
But
The
it's
offense doesn't
also
go stone cold. But yeah, it's one of
Mhm.
those things. But it's probably yeah, but it's a whole different picture with Freddie Anderson. I mean, I love Antti Raanta. He did phenomenal in the
Oh
playoffs.
yeah. And
Nothing against Antti
let's not
Raanta.
forget the few appearances that Kochetkov had
Oh,
too, where
Kochetkov did great.
yeah, like for a guy who has had zero pro hockey experience, at least in the NHL.
Yeah, just in this
Hmm.
continent
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, nothing against Antti Raanta or Kochkov. It's just or Kochetkov, one of the two. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, if Freddie's in, totally different vibe to the playoffs. It's
Absolutely.
just, it is what it is. But eight's too low in my book. I'm sorry. You should be at fifth at worst.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's all by sight because you cannot tell me. You cannot look at the tape, look at the stat. Well, look at his stats. Look at his stats.
Look at his stats, please. Please.
Finishes fourth in the Vezina, but somehow is the eighth best goalie.
Yeah. And that's even fifth considering the fact that you wholeheartedly believe Darcy Kemper belongs up there as well.
When you are a defending champ goalie who led the Avs pretty much the entire way in the playoffs.
I mean,
Francouz did pretty well too, but you cannot tell me that Darcy Kemper stole a lot of those games for the Avs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They didn't even lose. How many games did they lose last year? 4?
Yeah.
Maybe the entire playoffs?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah,
come on.
See, and that's the one thing that I will give him for being a top 10 goalie in my book. Like granted, he had a superstar team playing in front of him. Huge superstar team. That eye injury that he caught was just a lucky break or unlucky break. So
yeah, but come on, you could. He's got Cal McCarr, Devin Tays, McKinnon, the Landeskog, Rantanen, Burakovsky. You can't tell me that. Are the Avs still the same team if you have Francouz in the entire playoffs?
And my boyfriend and I have this conversation all the time too. He does not. I don't know if I believe Francouz is a starting tender. I don't know. He's seen he does really great in that kind of backup, that spot backing up the starter. Yeah, and that's where a lot of contention's coming between Georgiev starting versus Francouz. But I don't know. This is the Canes podcast. Won't get too in on it. But
no, it is what it is. When we're talking about goalies and how their impact is what the team is, it does lead into why Freddie should be top 5. But I'm sorry, how much of the Avs. What they did to get Georgiev and they gave him the money for him, he backed up so many games last year to the Rangers. You're having
imagine if he's actually given a chance to play the games he's deserved.
Yeah, I would definitely say the Avs are in a different. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they do with 2 backups.
I'll be interested to see if they run with a 1-2 situation or a 1A 1B.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 1A 1B. To be honest, the Kings don't really run a 1A 1B though, because Freddie played 3/4 of the games. There's a clear 1, and here's your 2.
Yeah.
Now, what the playoffs did Raanta make a case to be a 1B? Yes and no. Yes, he played out of his mind, but I still don't see a 1A 1B situation, especially the fact that they're both going to last year of their contract. And I believe that the Hurricanes are going to keep one of them, and Kochkov is going to be the backup next year.
Yeah.
See, that's an off-season discussion for next year, but
yeah. And I don't know. And I make this case. I wholeheartedly think I see Freddie and Raanta as a 1A 1B type situation, just because of how unpredictable Rod can be with his starting lineups and who's starting in goal. For a guy who played backup to Freddie Anderson, he had a good amount of start time compared to a lot of the guys you'd consider in that 2 position for other teams.
Well, right, yeah. He did play a good amount, but I would say it's almost that fringe 1A 1B, but I still
who the better goalie is.
Yeah,
Like,
you
who
know
you would consider to be your starter, but
it's definitely a fringe 1A1B, but I still think you would almost kind of slot that as that very narrow. It's still 1-2, but it's not like
that's fair.
1 and 2. It's more like
Yeah.
1, 2. So it's somewhere in that middle gray area of
Like,
where it could be either
they're very
or.
close to that gray area.
It's
Yeah.
very close to that gray area, but I still think it's a 1-2. But it's not just like a here's your 1 and here's your 2 in like 3 counties over.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find the parking lot type deal. It's just one of
Right.
those things. But no, full bringing it back. Freddie Anderson's not 8 in my opinion. It's too low.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute joke. I'm sorry.
Yep.
It's just no.
Yep.
It's a travesty where he's at. But trying to
what do
keep
we
the
know?
bias aside.
We're not we're not the ones making the list. So
if we were making a list, Jacob Slavin is a lot higher than 13, and you can't. Well, are the Hurricanes done being mad at us? We're still mad.
Mm-hmm.
Even the team who says they're still not happy. So
yeah, Mr. Brickwall, Jacob Slavin, come on.
Have you seen a Brickwall and Jacob Slavin in the same room before?
My point. Exactly.
It's like Pam from The Office. Find the difference between both things. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Is what it is, I guess. It's just.
But yeah.
So, but I mean, if people want to watch more Canes games this year nationally because they think, we can't see them very much. Well,
just
good
about
news.
to say. Yeah.
Good news. The Hurricanes are on 11 national broadcasts this upcoming season. That's TNT or ESPN and ESPN Plus / Hulu. I know a lot of Hurricanes fans are also not excited for this because we struggle on national TV games.
Yep.
Which I can't agree with. We do struggle pretty well on national TV games, but it's also kind of nice to be on national TV games because guess what? People can watch the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
So
this is true.
Also, there's another caveat, though. We all know what happens when the Hurricanes get on a national broadcast with a bigger market team compared to them. ESPN talking about the Rangers the entire time.
That's the one problem.
Hey, ESPN. There's the Hurricanes. They did something. They won a cup. They've done stuff. I mean,
the Hurricanes may be my favorite team, but if you need somebody who's not going to sit there and talk about one team the entire time, hello.
Yeah, I mean,
we are here.
I mean, Rod Brandemore's won, Coach of the Year. We have Jennings winners, Lady Bing winners. Our head coach was the captain of the team who won the cup back in 2006. One of the defensemen. It's also the assistant now.
Yeah.
I mean, we do stuff. I mean, we have Aho, we got Slavin.
You know what I've noticed is national broadcasts really like hyping up the worst teams because I noticed the same thing when the Avs Blues series was on. Is they talked about the Blues the entire freaking time, and I was like, "You're sitting." I don't know. I don't get it. Because Hurricane, like we run into the same problem with the Hurricanes. So you barely hear anything going on. I don't know. It's like I turned on a national broadcast and I'm listening to a local broadcast for the other team. Like this isn't what I want to hear.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I miss our guys when they do the first round because they do all the the local guys for round 1, and then it's the national stuff for the rest of the playoffs. And that's when you turn on your radio and mute the TV because, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those are the games that the Twitter Spaces are great for because I get to listen to the people talking and not the people on the TV, and we can create our own narratives.
I think that's why it was kind of nice when we did that. But it's just you look at the list of all the teams you get like that. I know a lot of Hurricanes fans are gonna laugh at this. The Canadians have 0 national games next year. 0. I know a lot of people are going to be petty and laugh at that, which, I mean, it is kind of a little bit funny. But at the same time, how does Martin St. Louis, who turned that team around at the very end, not get a national game?
Yeah, I'm not going to say
the Blackhawks got 14
I know.
games, and
they got more games than the Avs do.
They have more games than the Hurricanes do. They fire-sailed almost their entire team. Who do they have besides
They're about to start hiring season ticket holders to play on the ice.
I mean, Seth Jones. Oh my goodness! I mean, come on, a team that fire selled almost their entire team gets 14. The Hurricanes get 11.
Yeah.
I mean, there's teams that got 1. The Coyotes got 4.
Yeah.
They're at a 5,000 seat arena.
Yep.
Make that make sense. Where are they going to put the TV on the concourse? Hey, set the camera here because this is our only good shot. Oh my god, I cannot imagine what those are going to look like on Coyotes TV.
No,
how?
I don't know.
But come on, I mean, a lot of teams got too much. Not a lot of teams didn't get enough. But I mean, the Hurricanes getting 11. That's more than we usually get. How many do we get? Like maybe 1.
I think last year we had 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we get but we have 11 this year.
Yeah, which like we were kind of saying though, it's like a double-edged sword type situation just because of how we perform on the road. Now, I will say one of these games is the obvious stadium series, which it's hard not to nationally broadcast that one, so we kind of have to get over our hump with that.
That one's automatic, so I mean, that's what it is. But I mean, to be honest, national TV games were kind of. We did win one last year on TV, so we did win one on national TV. Yeah, but I mean,
it's not a great record though. It's 1 of 4.
It's not good, Bob. But I mean. But at the same time, it's kind of nice being on national TV because it's just, it's John Forsland, it's Eddie O. It's something cool. I mean,
and like you were saying earlier too, it gives other people who don't watch the team as much more of a chance to sit there and watch them. So, you can finally see what all of us are raving about.
Hey, you might actually learn something. You actually might learn the Hurricanes are a fun team, and it's not just because of their Twitter account. But I mean, what do I know? I'm just a Hurricanes fan living in the South. What do I know? Do I know hockey? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
What am I doing on a podcast?
I just feel bad for our fans. They're like, wow, Zach's really bringing the sass tonight. Is he okay? I'm fine. I'm just tired of the disrespect. So you're gonna get this out of me tonight. It's one of those episodes, guys. So bear with me if you don't really like my sassy rants. So it is what it is. But honestly, though, 11 games, I'm here for it. Will I also be nervous about it?
I don't know.
Yes, I will be.
I will say though, it's interesting. I don't know. It's interesting that we've got Buffalo 2 times. Like I've got the list here pulled up in front of me. I don't know. One thing that a lot of Canes fans kind of brought up last season too was the wholly awaited Canes Avs meetup. And I know game 1 or the first game we played against them was one that a lot of people looked forward to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting for sure. But I mean, I'm excited. Like I said, will I be nervous? Yes. But we do have some really great products to help with that. So we're actually going to take a quick break and send it over to our amazing sponsors. And once we come back from that, we'll go into our next couple segments before we wrap up the show of the SurgeCast. So we're going to go into our amazing sponsors right now. Hey, what's going on, everyone? We'll get back to the reference of the episode after we talk about our amazing sponsors of the podcast. First sponsor we're going to talk about is our original OG #1 sponsor, and that is Primo X Hockey. If you're looking for any hockey equipment, if you're talking indoor or outdoor, pucks, sticks, tape, apparel, anything like that, Primo X Hockey is the place to go. If you go to primoxhockey.com, they have an amazing sort of options for stick tapes, stick guards, pucks for indoor and outdoor, laces, all that type of good stuff. Definitely need to check them out. And the good thing, too, is they do ship across the United States for free. Or if you're in the Raleigh area, you can actually pick up at their warehouse, which I've been there before. It's a really great facility. It's really kind of cool how they have that place set up. So I would definitely say if you're in the area, go check them out because why not support local? especially in the Raleigh area, and with the fact that they're also amazing caniacs as well. So if you go to primalxhockey.com and if you use the code SurgeCast at checkout, you get 20% off your order, and it helps and it lets them know that we sent you there, and it helps us at the podcast as well. So like I said, definitely a great group of guys. Definitely need to go check them out at primalxhockey.com. Use SurgeCast for 20% off your order, and make sure to go check them out on their socials at primalxhockey. That's on Twitter and on Instagram.
Next up, we have our amazing sponsor in Level Up Snacks, formerly Shocked Hydrate. Amazing, awesome group of people and company over there. If you're looking for some quality snacks and drinks, definitely go check them out. You can use code SurgeCast for 10% off of your order. Amazing sponsor of the podcast. We're super lucky to be working with them. So definitely go check them out. You can go check out their socials on Twitter at Level Up Snacks. Like I said, 10% off, code SurgeCast. Go check them out. Next up, we have our wonderful sponsors at In the Clutch Apparel. If you are looking for some awesome vintage sports apparel, I know they have some Whalers merch on there. If our fellow Hurricanes fans, you will definitely enjoy products coming from them. Not just vintage sports and hockey, though. They have baseball, football, anything your heart desires. Definitely go check them out. And we also have merch on there as well. If you're looking for a hoodie for the upcoming fall winter season, or just a t-shirt to come and rep the amazing SurgeCast, go check them out. You can use code SURGE at checkout for 10% off there as well.
And lastly, the sponsor is not only of the podcast, but it's more so of Belly Up as a whole, and that is Canadips. If you're looking for an everyday way to try to wind down from a tough day, or just try and get through the days in general, I would definitely say check out Canadips. They're a great CBD company out of California. The good thing is it's hemp only, no THC, so you can just take them whenever you can. They're coming in little pouches, about 10 milligrams, 150 milligrams per can, so you get about 15 pouches of those. They're really great to have. I know for me, it definitely helps with my anxiety. It helps with the joint pains, and like all the playing sports and stuff like that. I've used them a lot. I know a lot of people around Belly Up Sports have used them, and I definitely would recommend these things to anyone if you're looking for a way to help you just get through your day and try to wind down and try to get some relaxation and zen into your life. A lot of great flavors. We got the Palmy, which is black tea. They got the new ice cream sundae, which is really good. They got mango. They got watermelon and pina colada and a bunch of other different ones. They even got the normal classics like wintergreen and stuff like that. So definitely go check them out. If you go to CanadipsCBD.com and then /BellyUp20, then that's the link that you can go to and go on the website and order from there as well. Or if not, just go to CanadipsCBD.com. Then at checkout, use BellyUp20 and you'll get 20% off your order. And it actually helps out the global brand of Belly Up Sports if you go use that discount code of Belly Up 20. I couldn't recommend these guys enough. They're great. They're amazing. So definitely check out Canadips at CanadipsCBD.com or just normal Canadips.com if you're looking for more of something else past just the normal hemp CBD type stuff. But definitely have to go check them out so that we can help us, the podcast, and also Belly Up as a whole. So without further ado, let's send it back to the rest of the episode. And we are back. Thank you to all of our amazing sponsors, Primal X Hockey, Level Up Snacks, In the Clutch Apparel, and of course our Belly Up whole sponsor, that is Canadips, which I'm glad I have because I'm definitely going to need them this year, especially with all the national TV games. So, but thank you to our amazing sponsors as always for, taking care of us here at the podcast because we need help.
Yes, we do.
We need help. So any little bit helps. So make sure to go check them out if you guys can. We really appreciate that. So I believe it's time. Are you ready to do some rankings?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Like I said, I have not heard Bailey's rankings. So
do you want to go first or you want me to go?
You know what? I'll let you go first because, ladies first.
Oh, well, thank you. Like I said, if you guys haven't heard, obviously I'm going to do my rankings here. But if you're wanting to hear like a conversation with the first time that I announced them, definitely go back and watch that Belly Up Hockey show that we hosted on Monday. Not only will you hear my predictions, you will hear a lot of other opinions from all around Belly Up in the hockey department. So definitely go check that out. But to get into the Metropolitan, I have our obvious Hurricanes sitting at number 1.
Oh, you know what though? I think we should do. I think we should do. Well, we just spoiled number 1, but we should do both of our 8s and then 7s and go up from 8 to 1.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
So, so we're gonna do both of our 8s and then both 7s and all that. So unfortunately, we just did give away who number 1 is for you. But
are we surprised though? So I feel like that was a given. But
yeah, okay. So number 8, I should have preferenced that. That's my bad. Number 8, Bailey. Who is your bottom of the basement in the division team?
The Flyers.
I mean,
I've got the Flyers at my number 8.
Yeah, sorry, Sam. I know you're going to listen to this podcast. I know you've been on a lot.
I don't think she disagrees, though, is the thing.
No, she's not been happy today, especially with the goaltending situation in Philadelphia, because one of their goalies now signed a 3-year contract with CSKA Moscow, and that rubbed a lot on the Flyers this season. So, yep. But I can agree.
Yeah,
the Flyers are definitely my number 8 as well, and have fun with TA. As one of your defensemen. Thanks for the draft picks, by the way. We appreciate that, Flyers.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like
that's brutal. That's no, that team is I feel bad for Cam Atkinson. Somebody needs to go save him.
Yeah, really.
And Carter Hart too. Kind of hot.
Yes.
Someone needs to go save him.
Kind of hot.
Someone needs to save him. I mean, Cam Atkinson will look pretty good in the Hurricanes red. I'm just saying. I mean, I wouldn't be upset.
No, not at all.
Just don't tell Sam, though. She might have an issue with that.
Oh, no. Sam, if you heard that, no, you didn't.
No, yeah. You did not hear Cam Atkinson's name. We'll just try to Jedi trick her out of, just hearing, any part of this Flyers part. So.
Yep.
But no, Cam Atkinson will look really great in the Carolina Red. Hey, Don Waddell, if you want to figure that out, I mean, I wouldn't say no. But, the Flyers, though, oof.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of goes without saying. I even with their supposed upgrade on defense, I don't have a whole lot of faith in them. So
defense.
That's why. Yeah, why do you think I said supposed upgrade?
Supposed up. Yeah, for people that are not watching the YouTube version, which you should be. Air quotes and sarcasm has been used. If you haven't picked it up. So,
yes. But that's my number 8. Number 7, probably gonna have to go with the Islanders.
I can't agree with that. The Islanders have done pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
In terms of,
that too. They're going through a coaching change, so that's going to mess with chemistry and team cohesion a little bit.
That was still a surprise, though. I will say that was a surprise.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's where they sit on my list. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their roster; it's not really. Did they really get any better? I mean,
no.
Not
because
really.
What moves had they made during the off season? None come to mind for me besides the new head coach.
I mean, I want to say maybe Zach Parise. I don't remember if he was actually with them last year at all. Before then, I mean, they have Sorokin and Varlamov still, but I mean that's brutal.
Yeah,
that's brutal.
And you take all that because I mean. You can still have guys that perform well together and at least do a little bit well, but just with all of the changes, the lack of movement during the off season, I don't see their season going all that well for them.
Yeah, their offense just wasn't there. I mean, a lot of people picked them to go into the division, to go to the playoffs next year. I was one of them, and
no,
That did not go well.
No, it did not.
No, the Islanders, like you said, I haven't really seen a whole lot of additions that I could say, oh, look, they did something. I'm more of like, did they do anything?
They've been quiet.
Pretty much.
Honestly, I mean, quiet can be good. Quiet can be bad. In this case, they...
I mean, we are talking about a team that lost Matt Barzal for a good few hours. So.
Like, literally.
No, this isn't like a joke. I mean, if everyone remembered last year, like, they lost a player.
Yeah.
That's like, that's the second time a team from New York has lost a player and they don't know where they were at.
Yeah. Not a great look, bud.
Yeah, unfortunately, the other team from New York was
I don't know.
A certain baseball team that a certain host likes on this podcast. I mean, not me, but
But
yeah.
Anyway, no. Yeah. So
Bailey's like, I don't want to talk about it.
I've also got some Wi-Fi issues going on too, and I'm trying to figure that out. So that's been fun. I don't know, but I just not a lot of faith in. I mean, those two bottom teams. What I thought was interesting is when we were talking with Jared on Monday, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna throw out a hot take curveball and have New York at like number 4 or 5, or the Islanders at number 4 or 5," and I was like, "What? What?" Like I had to do a double take because we all kind of, at least some of us, followed like belly up hockey tradition and bring the drinks in, and I was like, have you had a little too much drink, sir? Are you okay? Like,
yeah, the Islanders at 4 or 5 in this division, in this economy.
No,
I don't know about that, but that's
hot take for sure.
I mean, it's a little spicy, but yikes. No, I don't see that. Not with this team.
No. And then number 7 for me.
6.
6. Sorry, my bad. Jeez. Number 6, probably going to have to be the Devils for me.
I think this is our first non-agreed upon pick spot.
Okay.
I know they just signed him recently, but I'm still not sold on this team because they also did get rid of Bjorkstrand.
Okay.
Jackets are going to be 6 for me.
Okay.
Yes, they got Johnny Hockey. I mean, he did play on a pretty good Flames team last year. They got a lot of points. I don't know if he's going to replicate 100 points with the Jackets. I don't think he's going to do it. He's good. Okay. He's going to lead the team in points. He probably is going to be playing with Line A. But goaltending is still going to be solid, though. I mean, they still got Merzlikins. He's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about the Corby situation. I think they still have him, but I don't know how long that's going to last. But that defense, though.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm still not sold on that defense. I mean, they kind of just fell off and they were a lot of games back last year. Like I know they tried to fight for they were trying to do something, but I still think there are teams in this division that did a little bit more than they did. I mean, yeah, Johnny Hockey's huge. I'm not going to discredit them. Johnny Hockey's huge. It's still crazy that they even got him.
Oh yeah,
still surprising. Still surprising that worked out, but I still don't see the Jackets pushing for a 5, even a 4, in my opinion. I just don't see that. Now that I have to look at the rest of this division, how they kind of like
that's fair
fix themselves. Getting Gaudreau is great, but getting rid of Bjorkstrand kind of hurts. Defense is still suspect. I'm still not sold.
That's fair
on the Jackets.
Yeah. And that'll kind of lead me into my number 5 because I actually had the Jackets at my number 5.
There you go.
So,
fine.
So yeah, I just no, and I think the big reason why they are that high on my list are solely because of Merzlikins and Johnny Hockey.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Merzlikins, we did get hurt. He tried his best. His defense was no help to him for a long stretches of that season. Even plus, remember that game 2 where we came back and did win 7-4?
Yeah,
they didn't have a lot of shots.
No, not at all.
One point was like 40 something to 18. Like that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and that's why I've kind of it's a mixed bag. I think with them is they have their really great games, but they also have their really, really horrible games, and I guess that's where maybe the Hurricanes can kind of relate a little bit because so do we. But at the same time, I don't know. They have Johnny Gaudreau and they have Merzlikins, and that's about it on my list. I
can definitely I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
So.
Yeah. So
I don't like that laugh.
who my number 5 is going to be?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm probably gonna get so much trash for this. And you know what?
We live for the hot takes.
There might be a certain podcaster from Hockey who's going to like my pick. I really wish he was here to hear me say this. I might have to DM him in our Slack chats. Who my Metro 8 is. But my number 5. They still might make the playoffs depending on how the Atlantic is, because it'll be very interesting how the Atlantic shakes up with outside of Toronto, Florida, Tampa, maybe Boston, to see what they do. Detroit, maybe, but there could be a possibility. There could be 5 teams out of the Metro. Who knows? It could be interesting. My number 5 is the Capitals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it's a thing of they've got goaltending for the most part. Defense is still okay at best. The offense is the offense, but this is an old hockey team.
Yeah.
Yes, they did get 100 points last year. Pretty much every team in the Metro did, and the 4 teams in the Atlantic. Still a pretty old team. Didn't really get very much younger. You're still running a lot of old bodies out there. And they did struggle too. Like, they were fighting for a wild card spot at one point.
Yeah.
Well, of course, until it got out of hand, then it was just basically fighting on who's going to get a wild card, who's going to get a seed in the top 3. But there are some teams in this division that did get better that I think could make some noise.
Right.
If everything goes right.
And that's fair. Yeah. And that's the big thing. If everything goes right. If everything goes.
I don't do a lot of hot takes, but I think at some points it's kind of fun to do a couple, because you just never know.
Right. Yeah.
Because you don't want to be that. It's like, oh, well, it's these 4 teams. Okay, that's the same 4 teams from the year before, and the year before, and the year before. You don't want. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, the Islanders are going to go into the division. Here you go. It's like, let's not get too out of pocket with it, but you can still turn up the hot take index a little bit more than just, this is the same basic 4 teams.
Right.
So, but I think for me, I just think the Capitals still stayed older and didn't really improve that much.
Right.
Be like, oh, yeah, they're gonna be a top 4 team in the division easily.
Right.
Their age might catch up to them this year.
Yeah, and that's part of what I'm kind of hoping doesn't happen. Is I've got them as my number 4.
Who's you have for your number 5?
My number 5
Jackets, that's right.
was the Jackets. So, but I've got
been a long day.
No, it's okay. But I've got them at my number 4, and the sole reason is just because of the greats that they have on their team. In Alex Ovechkin, you've got, I hate him, but Tom Wilson, huge body, Backstrom, and then you also got to remember too, they added Darcy Kemper to their roster.
That's what I said. They have gold. That's why I said they have goaltending.
Yeah,
they do have goaltending.
Yes,
their goaltending did get better. Now they also do have Carlson still. So but remember, old bodies.
Yeah, and I will say the funny thing is too, a bunch of Avs fans were in the comment section of NHL Network's top 10 goalie posting, but when I talked to them on Monday, I brought up the fact that Darcy Kemper being in goal for the Caps put them at my number 4, and they were like, not going to do anything. Nope. I was like, huh.
It's fun. It's fun. It's funny how people flip on guys who leave after they just won them a cup.
Mm-hmm.
Not throwing shade at our boys who are Avs fans. Not throwing shade.
No.
I just find it funny how he just won you a cup, and it's like, oh, they're not going to do anything. It's like,
I don't know. It's
like I said, not so. If you guys are listening,
we love you, dude.
Yeah, just it is very interesting when you hear that, oh, they're not going to do anything when you just praise this guy. So
yeah, so I don't know, and I did hear
each their own, but
right, and I did hear a little bit of Darcy hate during playoffs where they were Darcy wasn't doing all that great for him. But
not every goalie was on top form.
Even
Andre Vasilevsky looked really bad in a few games.
Yeah.
So let's not get too out of pocket. Oh, Darcy Kemper isn't going to do anything. He just won you a cup.
Mm-hmm. So that's my stance. I don't know. I think Kemper adding that kind of goalie aspect to the team is going to help them out at least a little bit. In addition to talking about, like I said, Ovechkin's still. I mean, he's old, but. Yeah, guy knows his stuff still. So
it's still Ovechkin, but the rest.
Yeah, I don't know.
They said TJ Oshie too, so I mean, I don't know. It's I think old age might catch up to these guys. Like I could,
and that's fair.
I'll probably be wrong. I think the smoke. I understand it is what it is.
Given our luck with the Capitals in the playoffs too, I really hope they're not in the playoffs. But maybe, I don't know.
Possibility. Hey, we could get 5 teams in the division, and who knows? It is what it is. The Panthers could have a complete fall off, and then you get a 1-season wonder, and there you go. There's your one team. Yep. But who knows? So my number 4. Like I said, I'm not going to get too crazy with the hot takes, but this team who isn't going to be number 4, I think they did get pretty solid this offseason. Goaltending is still mostly an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I think some forward additions. I mean, they got Andre Palat now. That's kind of huge.
Yep.
Defense still looks pretty solid, and they also did get better. And I mean, their leadership core, pretty solid, and so is their centers at this team. New Jersey Devils, are my number 4. And man, if Ryan McCarthy was listening to this podcast right now, he'd be losing his mind. Like,
oh yes, he.
Wow,
would.
We get some respect. That's why I wish I was on Monday's show, because I would have blown so many minds with that pick. Especially Ryan to be like, okay, I don't believe you, but thanks. I mean,
it's like winning the lottery.
I don't know. It's just something about the Devils. It's just something's telling me these guys might, if like I said earlier, if everything goes right, because they did have some points last year where they looked pretty solid. So I mean, who knows? But I have a feeling if everything goes right for them, maybe they do add a goalie at some point if they really want to get fancy with it and go pick up a solid goalie. And if all their forward core and their guys that they bring in do something, who is to say the Devils might make a little noise in the Metro and push for a 4 spot?
Alrighty.
So there you go. There's my little surprise flip of 4 and 5.
I'm kind of speechless right now. I knew it was coming, but like I didn't expect the Devils. To be at your number 4. Interesting.
Hey, gotta get a little bit spicy with the takes, but it's not too crazy though. We're not like was it Buffalo Wild Wings or was it Wingstop or whatever, like with a really super spicy wings. It's not that crazy. Let's not take it atomic levels, but it's got a little bit of spice to it. So
but it wouldn't be the SurgeCast without a little bit of spice. So we've brought enough to last a lifetime this episode.
Oh, if power was if lights were powered by sass and hot takes, this episode would probably be good for about a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. I feel like for our top 3 is where we might start aligning a little bit more.
Yeah, I think was it from like 6 to 4? It's been a little different.
Yeah.
So I think we might get back with between 1 to 3. So
yeah. So my number 3, hailing from the interesting state of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay. Any particular reason why the Penguins are 3? I'm curious. This is where we're going to get more into like individual takes. Then we'll instead of like, oh, here are the 2 picks. Let's talk about it. this is where kind of we're getting the more individual takes of our picks for the top 3.
I don't know. I think they made a great move in bringing back Malkin. Sidney Crosby, I mean, it's a fantastic kind of duo there. I don't know. I feel like they looked pretty good during playoffs last year. Not much has changed on their front. They've had, or at least from what I remember, and I could be super wrong in saying that I didn't see a whole lot of movement from them besides re-signings and extensions from them this offseason. Right. But at the same time too, I feel like I don't think they're cup caliber, but they're cup contenders still.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the Jason Sucker, you got Russ, you got Rickard Raquel.
Which I'm not super familiar with any of those guys.
Raquel is a former Duck.
Okay. Yeah. So
Alex Nylander's on there, and I want to get too excited about that because he did not do. But I mean, you still got Jeff Carter, Crosby. You still got
I mean, just looking at their defense too. I mean, Friedman, Letang, Pickering, Peterson, Ruda. I mean, it's
Jeff Petrie and Dumoulin. I mean, it's Jan Ruda.
Mm-hmm. And then you got up top, just in Crosby and Malkin and Gensel and Kapanen and
Jeff Carter and all.
Yeah.
Hey, goaltending.
Brock McGinn.
Brock McGinn. But I mean, hey, goaltending. Casey Smith he did all right for them, and so did Justin Jarry. So I mean,
and that was one of my big points too, is thinking about Tristan Jarry stepping up, and I think he got duped out of a little bit of a season last year too.
Yeah.
But we know his potential. We know, I mean, obviously he was an all-star. So I think there's a lot of potential there for him as well.
I mean, the Penguins did almost get a second spot. I mean, they weren't too far out of second in the there was a point where they were actually fighting for a first.
Yeah.
So I mean, they kept it pretty close. So you said we might get a line back into 3-1.
We're not. Okay. All righty.
We're still staying on that train of not seeing eye to eye on some of these picks, which is fine. I mean, we don't always have to be on the same page, but
no, that's what makes it interesting.
No, I was going to say it's Carolina.
Oh, geez. Okay. We don't even Hurricanes about that, sir.
No. Who would I be if I no? I mean, if we ever get back to that point in time where the Hurricanes might finish third, we're going to be realist with it, but not today though. Not in this episode. No, hopefully for not another 10 seasons, we won't be in talks of that. So knock on wood. No, it's the Rangers. I have them finishing third in the division this year.
And why is that?
So, like I said, I don't do a lot of hot takes, but this is going to be fun. This is going to be
take a sec.
If Zach gets this right, if I get this right, perfect days for me. If I get this wrong, I'll take the smoke. It's all right. I'll take it. I think I don't think
I'm curious as to why you have them at 3. Interesting.
I don't see Shesterkin doing this again like he did last year. I don't see him putting up Vezina and Hart numbers. I think he got very hot and stayed hot at the right time, but I don't think the Rangers got better on defense. They got better with getting Trocheck. Truman's now their captain. I just don't think Shesterkin can do it again. Because like we said earlier, Kyle Hall said the Rangers are only good because of Shesterkin. If he has a normal season where he's not like ungodly, Martin Brodeur, Patrick Waugh, Dominic Hasek-esque, all combined into one, where he's just playing outside of his mind, The Rangers don't make it.
Okay.
And for me, I kind of think that it's not going to be one of those things where they can. Because, okay, yeah, they got Sammy Blais. They got Ryan Carr. They did add couple other pieces in the front. But I really don't see any different. It's still Lafreniere still there. You have Kabakako still there. Panarin, Ryan Reeves, okay. Zibanejad, okay. Adam Fox, cool. Lindgren, okay. Miller to an extent, and Trouba. Their defense is okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you look past Shesterkin, Halak isn't someone who's going to take you very far as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have Louis Domingue.
Mm-hmm.
For me, and like I said, I'm trying. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from Rangers fans, which is fine. Like I said, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'll take the L.
Yeah.
I will be a gracious loser if my picks are wrong. I've had some takes that never land well, even with some of my Hurricanes takes don't work out.
Mm-hmm.
It is what
I mean,
is.
my entire bracket was ruined after the second round. So
yeah, my Canes Avs final didn't go as well as I thought it would.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this year, though, even though it's going to drive me nuts.
Oh, your mentals are going to be all over the place. We all know who your number one's going to be, who you want to win.
I also got to deal with the guy sitting next to me, so.
You signed up for that. I don't know what to tell you about that.
I did.
You signed up for that. I mean, can't blame no one but yourself.
Nope. No.
But no, I just, for me with the Rangers, I don't think they're kind of the same. I mean, yeah, adding Vincent Trocheck was huge, but that term and deal, oh man.
And that's exactly.
I love Tro.
Yeah.
A little bit too much term for me.
Yeah.
And that's why Donald didn't bring it. Because we're not going to be like, oh, he's terrible. He's not going to do anything in New York. No. He's going to do fine in New York.
Yeah.
Year 4, 5, 6, 7, we might be having a different discussion with that.
Yeah. But down the road, I think this long-term deal is going to come to bite New York in the
that 7x7 is going to be rough.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, Rangers 3.
So yeah, I have them at my 2. And I go a whole nother route, I think, than you do with Shesterkin. Guy won the Vezina last year for a reason. It takes a lot more than I don't know. I think he continues with that streak that he's having. I think he comes up and performs big for them this year. Yeah. Because I mean, you look at guys who have been revered as great goalies for forever. I mean, number 1 on NHL Network's list, Vasilevsky has been a god for how long?
Yeah.
So, and I don't think Shesterkin's one to fall off that quickly.
No, okay. I should preference this. I'm not saying he's not going to be a good goalie. I still think he's going to be in a Vezina hunt. He's still going to be in the top 5.
Okay.
I just don't think he's going to go God status again.
Okay.
He's still going to be a really good goalie. I still think he's going to be a top 5 in the Vezina, but he's not going to do last year's Vezina numbers.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a comeback to earth moment. I don't think he's going to be complete.
That's fair.
He's not going to be Canadians bad or Arizona bad. Or let's say middle of the road, Buffalo or Ottawa bad.
Okay.
I just don't think he's going to get godlike heart numbers.
That's fair.
On like basically runaway Vezina numbers.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come back somewhat down to earth. I think he's going to still have to figure out with his defense that still is okay at best. I just don't think he's going to be the guy that could do what the Rangers did last year in fighting for a top spot in the division and basically carry this team to the promised land. Like I said, there's a lot of people that said if it wasn't for him, that team would not have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I still think they're going to make it, but it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge this year for them than
fair.
than it was last year, which we talked about with the Penguins. The Penguins kept it close to the Rangers. They kept it close with the Canes too, and you got some additions to that team.
Yeah.
You know you got your goaltending. Your forward core is good, got a little bit better. You know what your defense is. They also pretty much did the same, got a little bit better too. I think that, and plus Crosby was out a good number of games last year.
Yeah.
A good part of the season. You get a healthy Crosby for the whole year. Malkin, you don't have to go super Malkin for a good part of the time. You kind of keep his body a little bit more fresh than it was last year. Because if Crosby stays, Malkin's a little bit more fresh for the playoffs. They might have put more of a fight in that first round against the Rangers. Because Malkin will have gone super Malkin for a good part of the season. If everyone stays healthy, or at least the big guys, so they all stay healthy, and if Jeff Carr puts up numbers again and all those guys, I think the Penguins edge the Rangers. I think it's going to be close again. I'm not saying it's going to be 6-point difference or 7 points or something. I could see it as a 1 to 4 point difference between the two teams.
Yeah.
That's how close it's going to be. It's not going to be, the Penguins are going to run away with the second spot. No, it's just going to be close. I just think that the Rangers and Penguins are just going to swap positions, and it's just going to be close because I have a feeling the Penguins brought a little bit more. Yeah, and I think we know they're always good.
Yeah.
So
it's a fair pick. Yeah.
I think I just have a feeling the Penguins are going to do a little bit more this year than the Rangers. I'll be wrong. I could be wrong, but you know what? For some reason, man, it's Pittsburgh. They always find a way. They always find a way to make it interesting.
This is true. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's also something to take into account. And I know there were some Rangers fans that weren't super happy about this, but with Trouba becoming captain too, it's going to be interesting to see what that does with the team chemistry. I mean, he's loved by his teammates. So
and the fans too.
And
a lot of the fans love him, but
and so maybe that does something with their chemistry. Maybe that ups it up. So Shesterkin can have that come down to earth moment, and it actually does something for where their forward core and their defensive core are actually performing up to the level that they're supposed to be. And especially, like I said, with their biggest move, I guess arguably being, or as far as we know, Vincent Trocheck, we know how much of a pest he can be on the ice because he did it for us all the time. So
that he did. I mean, he got a lot of Rangers in their feelings of a couple games, but I still think Trouba being the captain. I mean, he knocked a lot of guys out of those playoffs.
Yes, he did.
And I don't want to hear anyone being, you're just salty.
It was
any fan who saw those videos, man, a lot of those hits were. It's like,
they were dirty.
He's a tall player. There's other guys who are tall. Don't do that.
I mean, just look at there are ways to be tall and big, but still make clean hits. I mean, look at Nikita Zadorov.
Why is Trouba leaving his feet, and why is he kind of leading with more of an elbow than the shoulder?
There's no reason to be making hits like that.
Yeah, he's just tall.
If he's tall, he shouldn't need to leap off and do that.
Yeah, then how come 3-4 guys in the playoffs got hurt? What's the common denominator of those guys getting hurt?
I wonder. So
I'll give you 8 reasons as to who that common denominator is. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so. I don't know. He's a dirty player, but he is a player that is highly revered by his teammates and by a bunch of fans in the league. As much as I hate him, and I hate the fact that the Rangers are my number 2, but
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Gotta respect it. Gotta respect the pick.
Yeah. And then down to number 1.
I mean, you kind of already gave it away, but I mean, it's no shocker. Where will we be as a pod? I mean, in court, like I said, we're not biased. Okay, maybe a little bit, but we're also realists.
Yes. As are many other people in the league who talk about the Metro. So, almost every other person I've talked to has used the Hurricanes and the Rangers interchangeably. So
yeah, I mean, if Patches was still part of the equation, I say slam dunk number one.
Mm-hmm.
I still say with the team that we have now, I can still say one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be how many points it was last year difference, or it could be more. All really depends on who the number 2 team is.
Yeah.
And how much of a fight the Rangers and the Penguins are going to have for the 2 spot. It'll be interesting to see. But even without Pacioretty,
yeah,
your
the
top
additions,
top D pair just got better.
Yep, top D pair just got better.
Like your
top 6 just got better.
Yeah, like your Lady Byng snub just got a partner who
a competent partner.
Yeah, a competent partner who can actually play defense, can actually power play a power play unit, quarterback a power play unit a lot better. Over 700 points in the league at 777 is pretty old, but still has a lot of gas in the tank, and everyone knows because he was on a bad team. That's why his numbers don't look so great. But Brent Burns looks pretty solid. So it means we talked about their numbers a few weeks back. Still pretty amazing to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, your top 4 on defense still looks pretty solid. Can't go wrong with the third pair.
Yep.
Let's see. Offense. Oh, I don't know. They've got Paul Stastny. He's a pretty good veteran. If he stays healthy, they're going to be pretty good.
Yep.
Andre Kasha.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty solid in my opinion. So I mean, let's not talk about Seth Jarvis going into his second season after having an amazing rookie year.
Yep.
We still got Svechnikov. We still got Aha. We still got we still got all the Finns. So because Finns get wins.
I'm gonna make a prediction now.
Oh.
Aho gets 35 plus goals.
I'm here for it.
He's going to be one of 2 30 plus goal scorers. I think we get over our only 20 goal hump of players because we didn't have a player above 25, 27 goals last season. We were all in the 20s range, I'm pretty sure. And so
I believe so. I'll take your word for it. I believe so.
Yeah.
I would still say it's somewhere around there. I mean, I think you can do it. You know what? Since you're doing a little bit of predicting, I want to make it real interesting with my prediction. I've mentioned this hot take a few times on Twitter today.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Trying to remember.
Someone winning a trophy, even though he's not a points producing guy.
No, I didn't see that then. Huh.
Jacob Slavin goes and wins the Norris this year. There's my hot take of predictions.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
All righty. I like it.
I mean,
maybe the NHL Players Association will actually come to their senses and realize that it's not a points trophy.
Right. Okay. Well, if we're going to be with goals and assists and all that stuff, I think Seth Jarvis tucks 25.
Okay. Yeah.
Seth Jarvis tucks 25. I think we're looking at a possible Brent Burns setting some new defensive records points-wise this year. Mm-hmm. So TDA, have fun with your record for a year. Brent Burns is taking it.
Yeah.
Assists, Brent Burns. Goals, probably Brent Burns. Points, Brent Burns. Yep. So I think Brent Burns is going to have a season for the Hurricanes. So
you made your trophy prediction. Here's mine. Canes go on to win the Stanley Cup. Wait, hold on.
Come on.
Hold on. I'm not done. Hurricanes go on to win the Stanley Cup. Seth Jarvis wins the Conn Smythe.
You know what? I'm here for it. Give it to me. Inject it into my veins.
Please.
You know what? If they do, just going to have to add another cup to my Canes tattoo. It's going to have to happen.
Yes.
I mean, it's not done yet. I mean, it's not on there yet, but there's a Hurricanes tattoo coming. Mm-hmm. Got to add the 06. I got to add a 23 to it as well, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm here for it.
Yep. There we go.
Jarvis winning the Conn Smythe. Ooh, I called him the underrated X Factor last year in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. In the first round. Guess what he did? scored the first goal in the playoffs for the Hurricanes, and was absolutely insane round 1 for the Canes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely I think he should have gotten a lot higher on the Rookie of the Year votings.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did lead all rookies going into the playoffs in goals, assists, and points.
Yep.
So, yeah, we all know Seth Jarvis is going to be a stud.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he's also a TikTok star if no one's ever seen his stuff on with the Bar Down guys.
This is true.
So, I mean, I'm here for it. I mean,
always.
I mean, I know when we get closer to the playoffs, we'll do some predictions, like, round predictions and win the Stanley Cup. But I mean, come on. Hurricanes, get on that hype train.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Join us all.
Just join us, but no, I mean, there's our 8. We will get a graphic made with our predictions because I want to see people's reactions to our 8. I know I'm gonna get so much grief for the Devils at 4 and the Penguins at 2. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a lot of it.
You are.
Ryan McCarthy might be happy with me for a little bit. Kyle Hall might have some questions. But you know what?
Oh, well.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we don't have to all the same cookie cutter predictions. Oh, well, here's your 1 through 4. Oh, I mean, like every other Joe Schmo's 1 through 4 that's kind of been the same.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get a little bit out of the pocket. Gotta be a little different with it. Come on.
Yeah. I'm surprised at how different ours are.
Oh,
so
I definitely threw the curveball when I had the Capitals at 5 and the Devils at 4.
You
and
did.
Then put the Rangers at 3 and the Penguins at my 2 through 5 really did something, especially with Columbus at 6.
Mm-hmm.
When I said Columbus at 6, it was kind of like,
yeah,
where are we going?
I got some funny looks when I put the Capitals above Columbus in my book on the show. So
just because Giant Joe joined the Jackets does mean the Jackets are going to be a playoff team.
Yeah,
it's not a guarantee.
No, which is why I have them at my number 5.
I had them at 6. I bet everyone on that show would have been like 6. That's a little low. Is it though? Their defense didn't get a lot better.
No.
Adding Johnny Hockey does a lot, but it's not going to add you that much. I mean, they were off by a good number of points last year for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Like, do you really think adding one guy is going to do something?
Nope.
I'm just saying.
But
all right, so are you ready to get into our Forgotten Canes? Going into our last segment of the show. Are you ready to go? I
am so ready.
Back? Okay, well,
there we go. Hit me.
My guy. He was one of my Canes cards of the day, guys. So if people have been following that at one point, I kind of fell off with that, but is what it is. Moving, it happens. This guy actually first started off with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he came to Carolina in 2009/2010. Played 6 years with the Canes, 322 games played, 76 goals, 69 assists for 145 points. Did get 102 PIMs. He is the one and only Yuri Tlusi out of Czechoslovakia, but now Chechnya. But yeah, Yuri Tlusi.
Okay.
Is my forgotten Canes of the episode.
Yes. Beautiful, fantastic, all around great pick.
He actually wore number 19 as well when he was with the Canes. So there you go.
Yeah.
A lot of definitely.
Yes, he did.
Somewhere around, the season before.
There we go.
Actually was the first season of the Dark Ages. So there you go, I guess. So there you go.
Yeah.
Well, late 2000s pick. I mean, a lot later than my usual. So, that's for sure. Billy,
my Cane.
Forgotten Cane.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say that you're throwing it back a lot.
Yeah. So who's your Forgotten Cane?
My Forgotten Cane. Officially, he spent about 4 seasons with the Canes. His best season was I want to say, from looking at it here, the 05-06 season with 25 goals, 24 assists, 49 points total, +4 on the plus minus, with a total of 78 games played that season. Joined in 05-06, went to a different team, then came back, and then left again to go to Ottawa, hailing from Virginia, Minnesota, Matt Cullen.
Virginia, Minnesota. Wow. A state within a state.
A state within a state.
Matty Cullen. Wow. It's funny how we kind of flip-flop the going more recent compared to the old school. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. So
number 8 for the Hurricanes. I'm like 05-06.
Number 7, I think, or was he number 8?
He was 8.
Was he 8? Okay.
Nicholas Volin was number 7 for the Hurricanes.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, because on NHL.com he's listed as number 7. So
he did play number 7 with a bunch of other teams, but he was number 8 with the Canes because Nicholas Volin or the Wall, I think is what I think this was his nickname, but yeah.
Yeah.
But Matty Cullen. What a fantastic.
Yeah, and he had a very interesting thing. So like that 05-06 run, obviously his best, obviously the Canes' best as a whole.
Yeah.
Went to New York after that, and then a season after that he came back to us, and then he was traded to Ottawa.
Yep. He also spent time with the Penguins too.
Yep, that's who he ended his career with.
He also did play with the Wild.
So let's go through all these teams. So he started off his career in Anaheim.
Yep.
Went to Florida. Came to Carolina.
I bet you a lot of people don't remember the Anaheim and Florida days.
Yeah, no, because that's 1997 through 2004. So.
Yeah, there you go. I bet you a lot of people don't. I bet you even former Canes fans, like older Canes fans, don't remember that he started in Anaheim.
Yeah, no, it's because he was 35th overall, 1996 draft class. So, but yeah, so after bout in Florida, took a year break, 05-06, he joined Carolina. Season after that, he went to the New York Rangers. Season after that, he came back to Carolina, traded in the later 09-10 season to go to Ottawa. After that, going to Minnesota for 3 years, then went to Nashville. 15-16, he went to Pittsburgh, then went to Minnesota, and then back to Pittsburgh. And that is where he ended his career.
Yeah, a lot of Minnesota, Pittsburgh later on. Well, that 1 year that's in between for that break, that was the lockout season.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because it was Flames Lightning, which the Flames should have won, but that's a whole different discussion.
Yeah.
Flames should have won that cup. Mario Jelena, former Hurricane.
Yep.
That was a whole thing. Ask a lot of Flames fans. They're not happy. It's basically like Flames and Sabres fans. They know they got gypped out of a cup.
Oh, yeah. No, I would feel gypped too, but.
Yeah, that was the lockout season because it was that season with the Flames Lightning, and then it was the lockout, and then they came back with all the new rules for no more 2-line passes. That's when the trapezoid got introduced. That's when the all-onslaught Hurricanes offense kind of surprised everyone because everyone predicted the Canes to finish at bottom of the East that year.
Yeah.
And because the Hurricanes were built on speed and they did a lot more faster hockey than it used to be, that's why they surprised a lot of people and did what they did that season. So,
yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
Perfect time for the Hurricanes to go win their cup when they got all the new rules. They had the right players at the right time to do it. So, I mean,
yeah, great way to do it.
It is what it is. But another great addition for Forgotten Canes. There we go. Matt Cullen and Yuri Toulouse. Fantastic.
Great additions.
I just can't believe we kind of did that flip flop of
I know
what our picks were like.
Throw you for a curveball, keep you on your toes.
I mean, hey, we threw curveballs with our rankings, throw our curveballs to Forgotten Canes. So you know what? Plus a lot of sass and attitude this episode.
Oh yes, I'm here for it though.
Everyone's gonna be like, "Wow, this is more of a spicier episode than usual." Usually they're pretty tame. It's been a week.
Yes. Yes, it has.
It's been a week for me in terms of just mentals and just emotions. I'm like, you know what? It's time to get sassy with it. Plus, a lot of disrespect as of late. So, yeah, just one of those things, man. So just catch me at the right time. Give me a little bit more of a spicier attitude in terms of episodes, but
we're here for it.
Yeah,
so
we're here for it. I mean, come on. My co-host did a great job too, bringing the sass and the attitude. I mean, it's so fitting.
I try. It like you said, it comes out every so often, especially when provoked. So you put Freddie at 8 on the top 10 goalie list, you'll see it.
Yeah,
so.
especially when Sorokin's 5.
Yeah.
Sure, bud. Sure. But before we actually, go and let everyone enjoy the rest of their day after listening to this podcast, Bailey, where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me on Twitter at Bailey Curtis, and that is Bailey with 2 Y's. Love talking hockey. Post a little bit of personal stuff on there recently, just kind of to have a little bit more personality, so I don't seem like a hockey obsessed maniac.
We all kind of are. I mean, wait until our fantasy hockey draft in about a month.
So great.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I'm on Twitter all the time. Come say hi. I love getting DMs from people to just talk hockey, talk anything. So definitely shoot me a message or mention me at me. You can also find me on Instagram at Bailey Lynn Curtis. That's more of my kind of personal stuff, but you will find a hockey thing in there every now and again. If you want to go say hi over there. And yeah.
So you can find the podcast at the SurgeCast on Twitter. We do have a link tree if you want to go check out where you can listen to our podcast, and make sure to check out our amazing sponsors as on the bottom part down here from Primax Hockey, Level Up Snacks, and in the Clutch Apparel. So make sure to go check out the SurgeCast on Twitter. Make sure to go check out Belly Up Hockey as well if you want all just hockey stuff in general. Got a lot more cool stuff happening over there as of late. Definitely keep an eye out for that once the season actually starts. So make sure to go to Belly Up Hockey. We have a lot of cool and amazing things about to happen once we get closer and actually into the regular season hockey.
Mm-hmm.
For me, you can check me out at One True Zach. That's O-N-E True Zach. It's just about number 1. It's not the actual number. You can hit me up on there. Hockey, soccer, whatever.
He does it all.
People are like, how do you like so many sports? I love sports. It's just time of the year. Might talk a little bit more of certain things, but once hockey season starts, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. It's something. Let me tell you. So make sure to check me out on there. I am on Instagram somewhat at Zach R. Martin 22. I don't remember Zach R. Martin 22. I'm like, I don't remember my Instagram half the time. That's like Bailey says, more personal stuff, a little bit more personality of like D&D, comedy stuff. They're gonna get some hockey in there, soccer, a whole bunch of stuff. But check me out on there as well. Make sure to check out Belly Up Sports if you're looking for more hockey content or just other sports in general. Make sure to go check them out as well on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And if you're on the YouTube, please, if you could, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell and turn on all notifications so that way when when a new episode drops, you get the little notification on your phone or your tablet or whatever, and you got a new episode to watch, because who doesn't want to see us get animated when we do our hockey takes and talk about how much the Hurricanes get disrespected, because I'm getting kind of sick of it. But, it is what it is.
Do us a favor, too, in the comments. Leave us your thoughts on the episode. We love interacting with people in the comments. Leave us your top 8 or your list of 8 in the Metro. We want to hear what you think. If you're on Twitter, definitely hit us up and let us know what you think as well. Love talking about it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, we're definitely going to make a graphic on that. So I know I hope you wrote the list down. And then so that way we can go make a graphic for that, because that's
we'll go back and take care of that later.
Yeah. You can say this, and this. But no, this will be I'm excited for that graphic to drop on our podcast Twitter to see how people react to that. But yeah, so make sure podcast wherever you can find it. Make sure to leave us 5-star ratings, reviews, so we can shout you out on the podcast, because who doesn't want a cool little shout out? Plus, like I said, it will help us out too in terms of moving up the rankings on iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff. Like I said, YouTube as well. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that good stuff. But Bailey, I don't know about you, but I think we should let the people go and enjoy the rest of their day, because this is a pretty longer episode than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, yes. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. And
I
don't do outros.
Yeah, it's like, where are we going with this? But until next time, everyone, for next week's episode 11 of the SurgeCast, I'm Zach.
I'm Bailey.
see you next time here at the SurgeCast.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Media production. Some said we'd go belly up, so we made it our name. And we're still here.